Well, good evening, everyone. I know it's kind of late. Uh, it seemed like the 7 o'clock. It's gonna seem like it's gonna be the best time for me to come on, but I'm trying to make it six. Oh my God, I'm trying to make it six. Anyway, so if you're just tuning on, if you're getting a notice that I'm on, I appreciate it. If you click on, let's have this conversation. So tonight's topic is going to be about the relationship of the Master Mason to the upper degrees. The relationship of the Master Mason to the upper degrees. That's going to be our conversation for tonight. So come on in, tell somebody about it. I'm going to get this conversation going because I think this conversation is needed because a lot of people or a lot of brothers may feel that a master mason, that's it, which is true, but there's some other facts that play in that comes into play. So once you become a master mason, I know a lot of brothers feel that this is it, I'm good, but there are some other things that come into play in Freemasonry that I think it's from my reading, and I want you to do the same. That's going to be beneficiary to you along this thing we call Freemasonry. This journey is not one that's going to take a couple of years. It's really a life journey as you begin to read and to gather books and information. It really changes your perspective on something that you once thought was fact may now change because of other information that come into play. Everyone has a right to change their mind when they have new information. So don't just lock yourself into one aspect without further information. So as in life, the way I believed 5 or 6 years ago, I'm nowhere near that person. I'm nowhere near the person that I was 5, 6 years ago with my beliefs. Nowhere near. With the information I have now, I'm nowhere near the Mason I was 5 years ago. Nowhere near. So I'm telling each of you, and including the sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star, as you grow in this thing we call Freemasonry, as you grow in this thing of the Order of the Eastern Star, the more information you get and receive and read and find, things change. Your thought change. The ideal is you want to have the right information. You want to have the right facts in regards to what you're looking for, because as many of us know, there's plenty of information out there on the internet in regards to Freemasonry that if you get a hold to it, it will like, what are you talking about? For instance, there's this video that was sent to me, I think by Brother Jackson, in regards to this lady saying that she was kidnapped, and the Freemasons was doing some sacrifices to her family, and she was the only one that survived. I don't know where this comes from, but it's out there. It is really out there. And those of us who are Freemasons, we have to be careful about that, about those people who believe in such a fashion that Masons are out there sacrificing people and doing some crazy stuff. That's not what we're all about. And I would say that's not what this jurisdiction is all about. Now, I can't speak for every Mason. I can definitely speak for this jurisdiction. So, with that being said, good evening, Brother Ricky Jones. Great to have you aboard tonight. And everybody else who's definitely coming on, it's great to have you aboard. What is that? Mount Zion Grand Lodge of Texas? That's right, of the Master Mason to the higher degrees. As I was saying, the Mason I am today is nowhere near the Mason 5 years ago, not even 2 years ago, because of because of my traveling, because of various brothers I've come across from different jurisdictions and various degrees that I've learned about that I knew nothing of during my time when I first come into Masonry. So in learning and knowing this, it has personally changed my whole perspective on Freemasonry. It has done that. And I would say to each person, including the sisters of the order, in your travels, in your studying, some things are going to change. Some things are. What you believe today may not be what you believe tomorrow because of your study, because of the information you have. The only thing is, as I said before, I want you to have good factual information. Information that's going to, well, you can say this is common sense. This is not something crazy, way out the way information. Something that you can read, you can get a hold of, that's going to really make sense to you and not really confuse you in your research. And that's what information should do. Any information you get should do that. I don't care what research you're doing. It shouldn't be so mind boggling and twisted till you can't figure it out. Some things may be complicated, however, it's still durable and you can get through it. So just like it is with Freemasonry. So the relationship with the Master Mason to the higher degrees are very important. Just because you are a Master Mason, it doesn't end right there. It only ends there because that's what's been told to us. That's exactly what's been told to us. Oh, when you become a Master Mason, there's no degrees higher. That is correct when you're looking at it from that perspective, Grand Lodge perspective. But when you start to broaden your travels, when you start to broaden who you are as a Mason, you will find that there are many appending bodies of the Fraternal Order of Freemasons. There is. The ideal is for you to choose and you to begin to study and find out which one suits you, which way you want to go. Be it York Rite, Scottish Rite, be it Memphis Mizraim, be it Memphis Rites, period. It's just so many different, the snake degrees are out there, so many appending things to Freemasonry. It is just unreal. This is why it's important that most of us need to stay away from the rabbit hole. I'm just saying. So to all who's coming on tonight, greetings and more greetings to the craft and to the sisters of the order. Sister Jones, I don't know if you're going to be on tonight, but certainly would love to have you on. So let's just take a look at some information I've come across as far as the relationship with the Master Mason to the appending bodies. Most Master Mason believe that the Blue Lodge makes one as full or complete a Mason as one can or needs to be. But in an important fact must be noted, although the Blue Lodge of Masonry, and although it is Masonry of most Masons, it is not all that Mason has and constituted of. Some Masons would view Blue Lodge Mason at least as an unusual interpretation, meaning that when you go through the preceding degrees of the Inner Apprentice, Fellow Craft, and Master Mason, it covers a broad spectrum. But when you get ready to proceed to go into these other different rites, there's even more information. There's even more. The ideal is which door do you choose to go into. That's the thing, because what happens is in Masonry, I would say this here. This is what we don't discuss in Freemasonry. Maybe I should have titled "This is what we don't discuss," but this is what we really don't discuss in Freemasonry. I'm gonna name some things real quick as soon as I can find it. There's that puppy, and he's not gonna last very long. Let me tell you, he ain't gonna last very long. As soon as I can get through this, I'm gonna share with you some things that we don't discuss in Freemasonry. So how's everybody doing this evening while I continue to look? Oh, here you go. Here's some things we don't discuss. After we have gone through the Inner Apprentice, Fellow Craft, Master Mason degree, here's some things we don't discuss. We don't discuss these particular degrees. We don't discuss the Secret Master, Perfect Master, Intimate Secret. We don't discuss Provosts and Judges, Indent of the Builders, Elu of the 9, Elu of the 12, Elu of the 15th, Master of the Architect, Royal Arch of Solomon, Perfect Elu. We don't talk about the Knights of the East or Sword, Prince of Jerusalem, Knights of the East and West, Knights of the Rose Cross. We don't talk about Grand Pontiff, Master of the Symbolic Lodges. We don't talk about the Knights of the Royal Ark or Royal Ack, okay? We don't talk about the Chief of the Tabernacle, Prince of the Tabernacles, Knights of the Blazing Serpent, Prince of Mercy, Knights of Commandery of Knights Templars. That's the only one we probably get to and really talk about. We'll talk about that. We don't talk about the Knight of the Sun, the Knights of St. Andrews, and the Knights of Kadash. We don't. A lot of us don't. Let's just be real. We have the degrees. We may say that this is Scottish Rite, and we look at them. But how many of us crack a book on them? How many of us? And I'm going to share this with you. In the process of cracking a book on these particular degrees, if you have the Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2 and you've been initiated into the craft of Scottish Rite, when you begin to read those footnotes, they make you think. Them footnotes at the bottom of those pages for the Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2, they get spooky. I'm not going to lie to you. I just would say that if you are a 32nd degree and you haven't picked up the Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2 and read it for yourself, and looked at those previous degrees for yourself, there's some spooky stuff in there. It really makes you think. The ideal is that most of us don't think about that. We just say I'm a 33rd, I'm a 32nd, I'm a this, I'm a that, without really going and indulging yourself in a degree works. Even if your jurisdiction or your Supreme Council, whatever it may be, they talk about the degrees, but they don't operate the degrees. They don't open the degrees up. It would be to your benefits, brothers, to go open the degrees, to go look and see for yourself about those pending degrees. It would be just as it is on the Scottish Rite, like the past master, the most excellent master. And when you get into the Royal Archmason, well, I'm talking about the York Rite now, York Rite side. And then when you talk about the cryptid degrees or the council cryptid degrees, and you talk about the Royal Master, Select Master, Super Excellent Master, and then you talk about the commandery degrees, the Order of the Red Cross, the Order of the Knights of Malta, and then back again to the Order of the Knights Templars. You will find that on the York Rite and Scottish Rite, there are very similar degrees. There's a Royal Arch on the Scottish Rite side, and there's a Royal Arch on the York Rite side. Check it out. If you don't believe it, just open up your books. It's there. Some Master Masons feel as long as they can travel and receive master wages, they're good. So I don't knock it, but I'm trying to go up both sides of the compass. I'm in the 5th degree at the moment. Congratulations, Brother Shahid. You should. You should. There's no need of becoming a Master Mason and saying, well, I can travel. And that's great. I don't knock that either. I'm just saying that there's more to this thing than just meets the eye. There is. And to some people, it can be frightening. And it can be. But I believe that most individuals that become Masons, for the most part, they're not in it for really the degree work or the knowledge, because in Freemasonry, there's a lot of hidden knowledge. There's knowledge, period, for those who want it. It is definitely enlightened knowledge or illuminated knowledge, but most feel that, hey, you know, I'm a Mason. I'm cool. And what that means, you're a Mason and you cool. That it should be more to it than that. This is why Brother Jackson often talk about the character of a man, you know, instead of you just being part of an organization. You shouldn't want to come into an organization and just say, well, I'm here. No, you're here. You want to participate. You want to help the organization grow. You want it to be better than the way you found it. And if you're not in it for that, then if you're in it thinking you're in a boys club, you might be in a boys club for your lodge. It might just be that for you. But that's not what Masonry is built for. It is built to illuminate, to enlighten individuals on certain hidden mysteries of philosophy, you know. But what we do with it, we don't go no further with it, and that hurts. I wouldn't say it hurts me, but I know individuals who look at it, they don't. What are you talking about? I'm talking about Freemasonry. But no, it's but because you have not yet indulged yourself in Freemasonry. What you're doing is you playing. When I was a kid coming up, they used to have this thing called Baker Oven, where the little girls play and put the little cakes in and make the little cakes. No, you playing on a small scale. But when you go into the upper degrees, it's much bigger. It is much bigger. And I'll tell you what, for those of you who are Knights Templars, did you take or did you say the Apostle Creed? Did you say that? Do you understand what you said when you stated or recalled the Apostle Creed when you was becoming a Knights Templar? Go back and read that. Just go back and read it. That's why most people, if you know anything about the Apostle Creed, you know, and you are of any other faith, they don't go York Rite because of that. Because they know when you become a Knights Templar, you have to take the Apostle Creed. You have to say it. Period. And most people can't get down with that. Okay. So this is what we get. And it is what it is, but this is what we get. So the relationship between the Master Mason and the appending body should be one of research, should be one of knowledge, should be one of illuminating one's mind and not just being still. A person who's being still is not necessarily a person who's growing. However, you can be still to meditate, you can be still to think, you can be still to do all those things. But if you're not growing, then you are stagnated. If you believe that the Master Mason degree holds all to be all and that's it and it's all entirety, you are sadly mistaken. You are. And this is the beautiful thing about this thing we call Freemasonry, because of the variety of different rites and degree work. Like I was introduced to the snake degree, and I didn't get initiated. I was introduced to it by a brother who was a Filipino brother, and I was curious about the particular degree. But once he began to inform me that you got to go to the desert to get initiated, and there was some other stuff taking place, I was like, I'm good. I was good. And tell you the truth, would I want to go that route? That wasn't for me. He was being honest about the degree work and becoming part of that. You have to go through something. Now, for those who are nobles of the Mr. Shrine, you may say that you've gone through something that, wow, that was woo. But that particular degree or pending body or the snake degree, it's different. The only reason I know this is because a brother told me this. I was informed. We had the conversation. I've never been initiated to it. I've only been introduced to it. Been invited to it. Something that I don't want to do just because of the process. Some processes I don't think I deserve to be a part of. I'm just going to be honest with you. And hey, that's what it is. It took me 13 years to do college of the Scottish Rite. That's a long time, bro. It takes a while. A lot of people don't put in that much time to do that, and I appreciate you calling the college degrees of the Scottish Rite. But any of those dependent bodies, to me, are college degrees, because one is called the philosophy and the other one is called Scottish Rite is considered philosophy. Infallible degrees are on the York Rite, and Scottish Rite is the philosophy degrees. And on the infallible degrees is dealing with more of a Christian rite. It is. You can say whatever you want to say, but it does. The Scottish Rite deals more with the philosophy and military truth. If you go and indulge yourself and crack it open, you'll see for yourself. Especially if you have a Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2. Some jurisdictions carry their own Scottish Rite books, but for the most part, a lot of people really chooses the Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2. And like I said before, early in the show, read the footnotes. The footnotes say so much. Okay, so let me go on. It says, after passing the 3 degrees of the Blue Lodge, the candidate may choose not to proceed any further. Many of the probabilities of Masons do not stop with the first 3 degrees, but the candidate proceeds to the higher learning along with one or both branches of Freemasonry. One branch is known as the Scottish Rite, which advances by the number of degrees, within the 4th to the ending with the 32nd and 33rd. Okay, and then the next being either active or honorary. The other major branch is the York Rite, which goes through what are called the chapters or councils or commanderies degrees, ending with the degree of the Knights Templar. And as I said in the end, when you become a Knights Templar, you should have taken the Apostle Creed or the oath of the Apostle Creed. Blue Lodge, York Rite, Scottish Rite, AMD for me. Okay. Natchez, Mississippi. Oh, Brother Lewis. Brandon Lewis, you in Natchez now? Or is that just home for you? Holler at me. I was in Naperville, Illinois last year this time. No, was it this time? No. July last year, I was in Naperville Valley, Illinois. I sure was. I stayed a week there. Nice little suburbs of Illinois. Nice. It's nice. I'm a Royal Lodge on the York Rite side, but I have now joined the Ancient Free and Accepted Mason Is it the same? Yes, Brother Jones, it is. Now, I would say this, in some of the degree work, some brothers on the ancient free and accepted Mason side, they're appending by the Scottish Rite and York Rite. They skip the, what degree is that I'm thinking of? Cryptid degree on the York Rite side. Some jurisdictions skip the cryptid degree, okay? Just so you know, not all, but some, okay? Skip the cryptid degree on the York Rite side, just so you know. Most can't get past the light and go back into the darkness to bring others to the light. They have not let masonry in their hearts. Oh, I talked about that the other day. Masonry being in the hearts. That's where it should be at first. And then if it's there, you're able to share your light and share your light with other people. And you're not afraid to talk about something that you claim that you enjoy and that you love. If you are a Mason, you can't talk about the fraternal order without disclosing anything that you would consider to be a secret, then you have not yet, in my opinion, done anything with the works. But go to meetings and sit down and hung out. That's all you've done. You know, in not just my opinion, but as a Mason, you should want to do more than that. You should want to discuss the degree work and what Masonry is and how it fits your life and how it helps you to and how it shapes you or how you shape it. The process is iron sharpens iron. And if you're around anyone that doesn't sharpen or help you to grow in this thing we call Freemasonry, then you're, I don't know what to say about it. It's interesting. All right. Everything Masonry teaches is in the blue house. But you must have the key to unlock the symbols. Taking the size of degrees in York and Scottish will do nothing for you if you don't have it. But okay, illuminating light. In saying that, if you don't have the keys, what keys are you pertaining to? Are you saying that you have been able to understand those first 3 degrees in such a way to you now ready to proceed to receive extra light in Freemasonry? Is that what you're saying? Or just you saying that the keys of understanding the first 3 degrees? Because there's truly a difference, because you know as well as I know, when you get into these preceding degrees, it gets real esoteric. It can get spooky to some people. So you must be able to open your mind and not be so spooked out that you're able to receive that which this is mentioning. I just want to make sure that we have an understanding. Am I understanding it correctly? If not, help me out. Lost keys. Okay, lost keys of what though? I'm just saying. All right, Brandon. Lost keys to what? Man, the keys are the Kabbalah. Oh, alchemy. Oh, okay. Hermetic and philosophy. All right. Now, I'm going to say this. In most jurisdictions, and I'm only saying most, I'm not going to say all. In most jurisdictions, they're not going to talk about the Kabbalah. They're not going to talk about alchemy, hermetics, and philosophies. They're not going to do it. They are not going to do it. So I get what you're saying. I can appreciate what you're saying. But you know as well as I know that that's not going to happen in most jurisdictions. It's not going to happen. It's not. It's just what it is. It is not going to happen. And that's for sure. So I just want to welcome everybody to the show tonight. We're talking about the Master Mason degree and how it pertains to the appending bodies, how it relates to it, the relationship between both. So welcome aboard everybody who's just now coming on. I'm yours truly, Tony Hawkins, aka Tony Muhammad. I appreciate either name. It stays the same, no matter how you say it. I consider myself my brother's keeper. I am a past Grand Master, the most wishful John G. Jones, Grand Lodge, State of California, Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. I am pro-black, and I'm not anti anything else. I'm just for who I am for. And if you can get with that, we all good. So, with that being said, we can continue. Greetings, and I hope everybody is doing well. First of all, your family is well, and blessings. I want to send a shout out I seen today on my Facebook page, a noble just passed away. I don't recall what jurisdiction he's in. If anybody can help me out, I would appreciate it. Just want to say blessings to that family. Ah, shucks. I can't think of this noble's name. It escapes me. I may have to go back and look on my Facebook page just to see. But he passed away, and I just want to send condolences to the family and friends of that dear noble. And I don't mind if anybody knows of a person or a brother or sister that who may have passed away. Hey, let's send them a shout out. Let's make sure we keep that family in our prayers as we go down and lay down in our comfortable homes, our beds tonight. You know, because everybody stands in need of prayer. I don't care what faith you're in, or may be, or proclaim to be part of. Everyone stands in need of prayer. So let's remember our brothers and sisters in our prayers tonight as we move forward in life. Those keys. All right then, Brother Lewis, Brandon Lewis, I can agree with those keys. So, brother, does that mean because I don't have the higher degrees, I'm locked down? Uh, mm, mm, uh. I'm going to say it's not that you're locked down. I would say because you have not taken into consideration the Kabbalah, alchemy, and hermetics and philosophies, you are locked down. And you get that out of the second degree because the second degree is supposed to expand your knowledge and illuminate you as you proceed to go and become a master mason. That's what the second degree is supposed to be about because it deals with the arts and the sciences. And if you're talking about the hermetic degrees in philosophy, that's where you're going to get all of that at. And I see exactly what Freemason and Locke is saying. Illuminated light is saying. I see exactly what he's trying to convey. If I'm not mistaken. AF and AM don't talk about that. I had to search those out. Absolutely. It's a lot you're going to have to search out in masonry because some people are just not equipped to give the information or about it. So this is what you get. And here on this platform, we want to just talk about a variety of things. We don't want to just limit the conversation to just Blue Lodge or just OES or just the opinion. No, we want to be informative to the craft in regards to Freemasonry. And for those who may be interested in becoming a Mason or an Eastern Star, you know, because as I said before, those who are out there searching to become part of can be and will become part of, but we have to be able to be open about the works that we do. And that's why I think one of my videos is what the works of Freemasonry, if I'm not mistaken. Or if I don't have one, I'm definitely going to have to do one. Definitely going to have to do one. So I'm glad to have everyone that's on board. You know, you're not our party tonight. You're here with me, and I appreciate you coming on. So tell somebody about us and what we're trying to do on this channel, and they can join us. So if you want to call in tonight, I got the phone line open. It's 619-286-0642. So go ahead, call in, and let's have that conversation about those appending bodies and what they can actually do to help the Master Mason to become more illuminated and enlightened in the degree work. So once again, if anybody want to have that conversation, 619-286-0642. We can have that conversation. And two, Malcolm Prophet, brother, I know you're not a Mason, and I appreciate you calling into the show. If you seriously have a good question, I will entertain it. But if you're going to call me going somewhere else, I can't do that tonight. I appreciate you, though. Thank you for tuning in. All right, the degrees is skipped, Purple House, and told when they get there, or when they get in, the Knights of Temple. What? Randy Taylor, I'm trying to figure that out. You said the degrees is skipped, Purple House, and told when you get in, the Knights of Templars. Help me out. Help me out. And just like even on the let's talk about the appending bodies for the sisters, by the way. Now, you have the Herons of Jericho, you have Daughters of the South, you have what's that? I'm missing one. You have, some call it the Golden Circle, and where I'm from, and the degrees for which I deal in with the sisters are called the Rose of the Seventh Seal. You have daughters of Isis, and you have daughters of Sphinx. Okay. All right. Then, if you belong into the white Masons, I think they have what they call the White Shrine. You know, they call it the White Shrine. All right. And I think that is in regards to their sisters. Okay. Their sisters are considered the White Shrine when you go up into those pendant bodies. Freemasonry, as far as those pending bodies are concerned, various jurisdictions practice various parts of the York Rite and Scottish Rite. They do. Various jurisdictions practice certain parts of the Scottish Rite and York Rite. It's a fact. Depends on where you at. Some Supreme Councils um, practice all of them. When I say all of them, they go through all of the appending bodies in a different way. All right. Whereas in some degrees, on they don't. Some Supreme Councils they don't. They just obligate you and keep it rolling. Yeah, the second degree indeed recommends the study of natural philosophy. Yep, and the seven liberal arts. Yep, absolutely. The second degree opens you up to prepare you to take that journey. Let's take a look at this. If you have a Lester look to the east or even a Duncan's ritual, as you begin to proceed and go into those appending bodies, the first thing it says is that it's preparing you for the esoteric works of Freemasonry. It says that in there. If you go into the third degree in the Duncans, and Lester look to the east, it would tell you that it's preparing you for the esoteric work in Freemasonry. That's what it tells you. But a lot of us don't even peep that out because we're so hyped about becoming Master Mason till we don't even realize what just took place and what we're supposed to be at in this walk. For sure. Lady Knights, thank you. Thank you, Phil Jackson. Lady Knights. Yeah, Lady Knights equal to the Knights of Templars. So are, but it doesn't matter what degree you have, are the masters of your faith. Okay, I can take that. I will be back. I have to change my phone. I have to charge. Oh, you have to charge your phone. All right, Sister Elizabeth, one, come on back then. Come on back. Brother Lewis, you had to go there, huh? You had to go there. Yep, a drunken fraternity. Bloop bloop, right? Well, anyway, uh, they like to partake. I wouldn't say that they was a they just like to partake. Uh, ain't nothing wrong with having a little bit as long as you do it decently and orderly. Okay, decently and orderly. That's what's important. You've always had a lot of men in the position that mislead how it should be done. That's true because a lot of them that mislead and how it should be done don't know themselves. Let's really take a look at this thing. The relationship between the master mason and the appending bodies. If those who are in the dependent bodies, or whether it be Scottish Rite or York Rite, really took their time to explain to an individual who's a master mason, who's looking to move and to go into the degrees, if they really took their time and explained it to them, it would be a lot better. But it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't. And I can only speak for my jurisdiction. Now, what we have done here in my jurisdiction, even though we have the opportunity to go Scottish Rite and York Rite, what we try to do is incorporate classes. Because those, I mean, when you're talking about 4 through 33 degrees on the Scottish Rite side, and when you're talking about those degrees on the York, that's a lot of stuff. So we'll incorporate classes. So we'll do a Scottish Rite class, we do York Rite classes. Okay? Therefore, we get the benefit of having and doing degree work within the Scottish Rite and York Rite. It works for us. Hello?
you doing?
I'm all right, but I have to let you know you're on live.
I know.
All right, well, talk to me.
I want to talk. So, this brother Sailor from Illinois, most worship person on Grand Lodge, Illinois Jurisdictional.
Hey, well, welcome aboard, brother. Welcome aboard.
What's going on?
Not
yeah,
much.
I wanted to say something about the being a master mason and receiving those degrees. When I was ancient free and accepted years ago, they didn't talk about the Purple House. It was always talked about in a nice temple. When I received it years ago and stuff, a lot of your so-called black African American predominantly their lodges don't work that house. And for some reason, I don't know why, but
I can tell you why. I can tell you why they don't work it, because they don't know it. Let's just be honest with it. The reason they don't work it is because they don't know it. Now, I do know of some Supreme Councils, black Supreme Councils, that work that degree. I actually know of some that actually work that degree, but I know of many that don't, because they don't know the work. They don't, and I'm being honest. And they're afraid. And this and this hurts only because they have not yet educated themselves on the degree work. They have not. See, a lot of them get caught up in what they used to do and not understanding what they should be doing. It's not rocket science. I mean, it is what it is. They don't know the works, bro. And that's why they don't. And that's why they don't have it.
When I crossed on over to Barnes Hall, they work the Purple House, so I got 2 more houses to finish, and I'll be complete on the York right side.
Okay. And I can say this here too. I will say this here too. As much as I can criticize and say that they don't know the works, I would say some choose not to, because I've been told that also. I have yet, but why do you choose not to operate it? You know? And the only thing I can come to is because they haven't been introduced to it. If you haven't been introduced to something, you're not just going to jump out there and do it, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
I tell those that has the Master Mason degree, don't just stick to the Master Mason degree.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on, searching to go further. It took me 13 years to finish my Scottish Rite degrees. 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've already had the Scottish Rite and the York Rite on the black ancient free side, 32nd and 33rd. So I wanted to have more, learn more, go in depth.
Right.
So I tell anybody, if there's something that you want to do, just don't stick on the blue house. Because once you get to that red house, it is part of your blue house. You still a substitute of the Master Mason degree.
Right,
you ain't gonna know everything until you get to that red house. So I would recommend anybody get your York Rite or your Scottish Rite.
Okay, so Brother Illuminated Light, he asks, who has taken the 6th degree of the Scottish Rite, Intimate Secrets? Well, I would tell you this, to be truthful, I've been obligated, but I haven't been initiated and that's what we do in my jurisdiction. Because there's a lot of degrees. Let's just be honest about it. There's a lot of degrees.
Well, me, I have all my Scottish Rite degrees. When I did it back in 2017, the way we do it at Press Hall, I got obligated on my 4th logical profession. And then we skipped the other degrees because we go through 4 through 14, and then obligated to the 14th degree. It's so many degrees. And then I did my 15, 18, my Rosy Course. I was obligated to the 3, and then when I got obligated to the 19, all the way to the Knights of Kadash, they were just skipped. And then when I went and did my my 31st, and 32nd.
Mm-hmm.
I was obligated into all those 3 degrees. So, you're not going to be explained or told all those degrees because it's too much. It's so much degrees.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have so much time to understand all those degrees or go through them. And mainly in state-ground lodges, they have what you call reunions.
Mm-hmm.
Every certain amount of years, you go through those degrees over being explained. It may take 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
On the personal side, we call them classes, which lasts about 4 or 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what consistory you in.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it took me 5 months to complete my Scottish Rite.
Right. Well, it took me a little longer than 5 months, but it varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. I would say that, and the ideal is for me not to criticize what other jurisdictions do because that works for them. The ideal is I would say that what I've seen that I would think that's really beneficiary is classes. Because I know when I was initiated into some of the degree work on the Scottish Rite side, and then I was obligated in some of them. But in the process, we had what we call classes. So we would do once a month. We would do a Scottish Rite class. We dealt with number of Scottish Rite degrees. Next month we dealt with nothing but York Rite degrees. So every jurisdiction is gonna be varied in some way, you know. The ideal is for those of us who are in different jurisdictions is to realize what may work here may not work there. So in having that respect for jurisdictional works.
But I can say when I went to the Scottish Rite, the way they explained the classes, it was so beautiful. The way they talked about symbolism and being initiated. That was one of the things that I loved about my Scottish Rite class. They broke it down and they explained it to you, ritualistic, philosophical wise and stuff.
Okay, well, I got a question for Illuminating Light. He said that the cryptid degree was kind of boring. I want him to explain to me why would he consider that degree to be somewhat boring. I'm just curious about it. That's all. Just curious about it. So when you became a Knights Templar, did you take the Apostle Creed obligation?
You talking to me, Brother Hall?
Yes, I am.
I took it on the photo on the Black Haitian Free.
Oh, okay.
But personal, I haven't took it yet.
Uh-huh.
But I got to do the Purple House and the nice Temple to finish up my York Rite side. But now, when I was full letter, I put the Apostle Creed. Walk those 40 miles and other things. But yeah, I took the Apostle Creed.
Oh, okay. And the only reason I asked that is because some jurisdictions they don't have you to repeat that or to say the Apostle Creed. Some do, some don't. And especially if you're becoming a Knights Templar, that is something I can't see you getting around. But some jurisdictions don't do it.
Now I know in the South they do it. If you to be a Knights Templar in the Southern states, if you ancient friend or something, they make you say the Apostle Creed. They real serious about that and all the degrees. But I remember when I was with John G. Jones for the National General Masonic Congress, we had to go to Mississippi to Jackson to do the Knights Templar of the Royal Arch and do a piggyback. We had to do the Apostle Creed.
You said you had to go to Jacksonville. Where you from?
I'm from Chicago.
Where you living at now?
I'm in the suburbs.
Oh, okay. And the only reason I'm asking, you said you had to go to Jackson, and I'm like, I know where Jackson is at. I'm just saying. I'm from Mississippi.
I know you from Canton.
Yeah.
This Brother Taylor, you always talk to me on the phone all the time.
I know, bro. It just threw me off, though. It just threw me off. I'm sorry. It just threw me off.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What they did. This was years ago when I was with Highland Grand Lodge here in Chicago.
Right. Okay.
So we had a sister Grand Lodge down there in Jackson. I can't think of the Grand Lodge at that time. It's been so long.
Okay.
But when I went down there to do the Knights Templar Shrine,
Mm-hmm.
and Royal Lodge, I had to, do the Apostle Creed and, walk the burning sand and all of that stuff, walk that cold bridge.
Oh yeah. And see here, yeah, you naming off some stuff right now. you naming off some stuff right now. Yeah, you done the works. I can hear you. I can hear you talk about it. You done the works, brother. That's real.
Yeah.
So now that, how long have you been a part of the Prince Hall Grand Lodge, Illinois?
13 years.
So, with that being said, how do you see being there, and being being part of the ancient, free, and accepted Mason? What do you see, or how can that bridge be built, or what do you see causes the most disharmony? I know I'm getting off track tonight, but I'm just kind of curious.
Well, I'm gonna break it down. I'm just gonna say it, from the heart. Regardless what affiliation you from, just like me, I was once, Black Ancient Free and stuff. That was my foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But at one time, I was in the military lodge.
Oh, okay.
I only had 1 degree.
Okay.
But I didn't complete due to my obligations and duties to the Army.
Mm-hmm.
But when I came home from active duty service, there wasn't no Prince Hall Lodge in the town that I was in now.
Okay, gotcha.
So one of the members of my old church, he was the worship master, he still is. He brought me into the AFA&M side, and I excelled real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the youngest worship master at 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been with them 17 years at the time, and I rose up through the ranks to paycheck and all that other stuff, and did different degrees. And a lot of brothers saw something in me that was totally different. And at that time, when I got my 32nd and 33rd,
Mm-hmm.
I believe it cost $700 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
The most beside Sovereign Commander told me that I was gonna get. I didn't have to pay nothing.
Wow.
I got it for free.
Wow. He saw something in you, bruh. He saw some work in you. That's deep.
And it was an honor. And a lot of brothers, at that time, they probably did now, but they paid for my degrees.
Mm-hmm.
For 32nd and 33rd, and it was an honor.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a problem with that, But back to the me transferring over from Ancient Free to Prince Hall. The main thing is, I think that we should sit down and talk about our differences and stuff. I mean, even though John D. Jones did it, the way that he did, he was a smart man, but his
tactics.
His tactics got him in trouble.
Okay.
And he did it on the civil law side.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't do it on the Masonic side because he knew that it wasn't gonna happen. So he, by him being a lawyer, he could get away with it on the legal side.
Uh-huh.
So that was a smart tactic way that he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a lot of Prince Hall Masons and Eastern Stars back in the 90s and stuff. But back then, it was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Prince Hall Masons wouldn't talk to me. I mean, some did, and they tell me that they couldn't talk to me because I was clandestine. And at the time, by me being young and real active, I was real defiant and well, what you mean you can't talk to me? I took the same old judge just like you, and a lot of my family members are Prince Hall Masons from the north and from the south. And they tell me, no, we're not brothers, even though you took the obligation just like I did. Our obligation is totally different. And so I tried to visit the white mainstream lodge here in Illinois, and I was denied because the secretary told me that I wasn't recognized.
Mm-hmm.
So I started, thinking and doing a lot of research and stuff. And, I decided this was on my own free will accord. I decided that I wanted to go press on. And I never said nothing about, to my large brother that, they was bogus for taking all of that. I just said, hey, it's time for me to go my separate way.
Right.
And I learned a lot from them, and I still talk to them to this day. Now, half of them is gone,
Mm-hmm.
and I say at least about 7 of them still living, and I still, break bread with them, but have lunch, breakfast, or dinner, help them out and stuff. And the main thing is, black heads and masonry just not going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people this, why all this, arguing and fighting and bickering and stuff. Who's not legitimate, who's not a real Mason or Eastern Star. If we come down and come together, work together,
Mm-hmm.
we can do a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these different Masonic organizations. That's what the whites they work together.
They do, and
they may have their differences, but one thing about them, they come together as one.
But see, that's
when it comes to us.
What you
when it comes to us,
uh-huh.
you want to shun the other person because he's on the press hall side or he's international, Modern Free or United National.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't disrespect nobody from where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
And that leaves a nasty taste, and that's why a lot of Masons Eastern Star on the black side, they don't want to come to first time because they don't want to be disrespected and talked about and stuff and teased and stuff because you bogus and all that. If that's what they want to choose, then damn it, that's their business.
Mm-hmm.
You may not like it, but that's where they want to feel comfortable with.
Okay. Well, I see that you broke down quite a bit of stuff, which is great for a lot of individuals who are experiencing or who may see Mason from a different perspective. But what you said is exactly right. I can only agree with you, and that's why I have this platform. This platform is just dedicated to Masonry. Period. I don't care really what race you are, and like I said, yeah, I'm pro-black, but I'm not anti anything else. I'm just more concerned about my own people.
If it comes, say like if you was in Illinois, your college broke down. If you need help, I'm gonna help you. I'm not gonna ask you where you from.
Right.
Even though I'm not obligated to converse Masonically, but I'm gonna help you because you're my brother. We brothers first in the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Now Masonically, I don't care. That's a totally whole different subject. I'm gonna help you because you're my brother in Christ. Or whatever, but as a Mason, I'm still bound by my obligations to help you.
Gotcha.
It just simple as that. I'm not gonna ask you, you full that I can't talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna know what you is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna help you, and I have helped a lot of portfolio Masons and Eastern Stars, and by me being press on 13 years, they helped me.
Right.
And I say a handful of Pearl Masons I came late.
Mm-hmm.
But majority, all of them, couldn't help me.
Mm.
I hate to say it, but it is what it is.
Well, hold that thought right there. I'm going to send a big shout out to Don 55. The Don 55. From Natchez, from Yazoo, Mississippi. My home state. I'm going to be traveling back there pretty soon there. So if you are in Mississippi and you want to reach out to me, like let's say about the last weekend of this month, certainly do that. You can hit me a shout out. I'm just letting you know I'm be hitting the road. Got to get home, see about my mom and my family. But I just wanted to set that out there real quick, Brother Teller. And I think Brother Illuminating Light said that the reason in regards to the cryptid degree on the Yorkite side, he said those degrees are not fully developed, and just like some of the Scottish Rite degrees are not fully developed. But see, in saying that,
well, I kind of disagree on that. The crypto degrees has been fully developed by Jeremy Cross back in the 1800s. He invented those degrees.
Uh-huh.
And it was another guy. I can't think of his name right now, but those degrees, it was a part of the Royal Arch. Once you become a Royal Arch Mason, it's like the third degree. And when you become Royal Select, you being buried twice, 3 times. Just like the Masonic age, Royal Arch 3 times 3, and the Royal Select 3 times 9. Well, once you go into them bowels of the cave and stuff, I don't know nothing about the Purple House, but I can say it is a beautiful house. Once you start studying it, you study the Royal Arch, you study the Royal Select, and they do work together, just like the Red House where it worked with the Blue House.
Well, I'm gonna send a big shout out to one of your brothers. His name is Count Cook. I don't know where he's from, but he says, "Greeting to all sisters and brothers. I'm part of the Mason family now. This past Wednesday, I became an EA with PHA. Well, congratulations, brother, and welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Oh, no doubt about it. That's what it's really all about. Let's see what else we got up here. Let's see. I'm just going through some questions real quick. I appreciate you holding the line and coming on tonight. All right. So what is your thought? I don't know if you know anything about the other appending bodies outside of the norm of the Scottish Rite and York Rite. Do you know of any other appending bodies that, I've talked about the Memphis Mizraim and Memphis Rites, but what are your thought about those preceding? What is your thought about those esoteric degrees?
I know a little bit about the Memphis Rite, but I don't know too much about it. Now, the other degrees out of the Scottish Rite, like the AMD, or the other degrees, side degrees in Freemasonry, I know about them. They mainly side degrees like the Tall Seat of Lebanon, or the Order of the Psyop, or the Order of the Knights Templar. I think you got to be a Royal Arch Mason to be a Knights Templar. The order of the I can't think of those other side degrees, but they all work hand in hand. Being in the other Scottish Rite degrees and York Rite degrees, or the I can't think about the high houses. They just parts of the Scottish Rite and York Rite and stuff. It just tells another story. You can go online and type up those side degrees for the York Rite and Scottish Rite. I like the AMD degree. It talks about David and Jonathan, how they built a special bond with each other, and they had a relationship after Saul died and stuff.
Okay.
On the battle, I can't think of the battle he was in, but Jonathan's love for David, it was real special, and then he kept that special bond with David when Saul tried to kill David. Jonathan and David made a covenant together. Jonathan shot that arrow to let him know to come on out of the hills and stuff when his father was trying to kill him. And it applies to I think it applies to masonry. If you have a true friend in the craft, you stick to that brother and stuff. That brother is your backbone. No matter what you go through, brother's always going to be there for you. I had a close brother I've been knowing 30-some years. He came on over to Press Hall 5 years ago. And I could trust him with my life about anything.
Wow. That says a lot. That says a lot, only because you know what, a lot of brothers can't say that, but that really says a lot. But I'm gonna answer this question by Leroy. Not Leroy. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I know he gonna be like, well, Leroy, who is Leroy? But no, I'm messing with him. I'm messing with him right now. But just to answer your question, um, okay, I have a question. How does your jurisdiction do the progression of the degrees? Do you have to do Scottish Rite Shrine, then the Scott? No, do you have to do the York Rite Shrine, then Scottish Rite? Okay, so it does vary jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Latroy, Irvin, it does varies that way. I would say in my jurisdiction, we go York Rite first, then Scottish Rite, then the Shrine. That's how we do it here. I can't say how other jurisdictions may do theirs, but we do York Rite first, then we do the Scottish Rite, then we do the Shrine. That's how it's done here in this jurisdiction. So
Well, I know my jurisdiction, once you become a Master Mason, it doesn't matter. If you want to go on the York Rite side, you can do that. If you don't, you can go on the Scottish Rite side. So either way, you can either go on the left side or the right side.
mm-hmm.
When I came on over, I went on the left. I went on the left because I had my Royal Arch from where I came when I was AFA&M.
Mm-hmm.
But I got healed, so I got healed to both houses.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't move any further to the York Rite side, but I moved on to the Scottish Rite side,
mm-hmm.
to do T. So
okay.
It all depends on where you go.
Okay, LaTroy Irvin asked me another question. I think he's asking me these questions. He says, and my second question is, how can a Supreme Council oversee the York Rite degrees? It all depends, Brother LaTroy. And I called him brother. Oh my God. Anyway, to say that, it all depends on how is it drawn up. I mean, in some jurisdictions, you have two most puissant sovereign grand commander. One resides in the west, the southern jurisdiction. One resides in the northern jurisdiction. It all depends on how you're structured. And some are structured in such a way to the Supreme Council itself. The most puissant sovereign grand commander, he has the York Rite and Scottish Rite working up under him. It all depends on how it's written out. And that's the truth. Just because your jurisdiction does it one way, that's for you. That structure works for you. On the other hand, here's that structure that works for this jurisdiction. I know of a jurisdiction that has a Supreme Council, and all they do is Inner Apprentice Fellowcraft Master Mason, Scottish Rite. That's it. They do nothing on the York Rite side. Nothing at all. They don't even mess with those appending bodies on that side. So every jurisdiction does things a little different than yours or even mine. So I don't kick them. I just try to learn it. Brother Tell, if you got something to add, you're welcome to, sir.
No, not really. I mean, just like you said, every jurisdiction does things totally different. It's not going to be the same. So basically, I really can't, say nothing on that because,
Right, I understand.
When I was ancient friend assessor, they worked to both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, just like you said, every jurisdiction does it one way. Another jurisdiction does not do it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has their own rules and regulations, and how they do it, that's the way it goes.
Right. Well, you know what? It is what it is, and we can only continue to grow and to learn from each other and to enjoy the craft as it is. And I was reading a post. I think Brother Maxwell just posted something. I call him Brother Maxwell, but he said his father's a Prince Hall, but he's not feeling it. I want to join a lodge. Do you know of anywhere in Richmond, Virginia? If that is to me, I do. Know of some lodges that are in Richmond, Virginia, that are ancient free and accepted Masons. But I'm going to tell you truthfully, I don't care what lodge you join, but the lodge you join must be one that is dedicated to the uplifting of its members, must be dedicated to seeing that everybody in their lodge become successful or working on being successful in life, be it a father, be it an uncle, be it whatever. That's me. Now, some brothers may not want to get down that way, but that's on them. But I just think that in masonry, we should want to be part of an organization that's looking out for the benefit of me becoming a successful whatever. And that's to the
The main
benefit of the
thing,
community.
to that brother that in Richmond, Virginia, start checking out their different lodges to do stuff totally different, and make sure that they put in the work, and besides party and all of that. There ain't nothing wrong with partying, but you gotta put your work in too.
You got to put your work in.
If that lodge is doing a lot of charity, a lot of work, then that's the lodge you should go to.
I'm gonna share this book. I don't know if I shared it before, but this book is called The Facts of Freemasonry. This book here, I was going through it the other night, and it has a lot of facts, but it deals with mostly what I would call Americanized Freemasonry, because a lot of it is geared towards that. It points you towards that direction. So if you're looking for another good book to have tonight, I'm suggesting this book here for those who are Masons, or what is called The Facts of Freemasonry for Freemasons. And let's see. This book is by Harold V. B. Vandross, 33rd. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I just want to give you a close up. Boom. Okay. So check this book out. It's a good book. And then you can get it through McCoy's Publishing, Masonic Supply in Richmond, Virginia. Check that out. All right. So that's a good book. The last print was in 1976. So that was the last. Nope, I changed that. The last reprint was in 1979. Okay. That was the last reprint for this book. I would say that anytime you find old Masonic books, they're more geared towards the truth. And when I say the truth, because of the early writings of Freemasonry, those older books, man, they are bound with knowledge.
Yeah, the old books, there's a lot of treasure. I got a lot of old Masonic books.
Mm-hmm.
And give them to me. Older brothers that got out of Freemasonry and just they just didn't want to do it no more, and they decided to join other the different secret societies and stuff, and they gave me the books and stuff. I'll tell anybody, keep those books.
Mm-hmm.
You can use them as study guide references, or make your own little Masonic Eastern style library.
Oh yeah, I would tell anybody, when you're able to come across some good books, please pick them up and put them in your library. Brendan Lewis, my father's everything is clandestine. If it's not Prince Hall, and that's not my view. Oh my goodness. Brother Maxwell, I would say that there are plenty of brothers, if you choose to reach out to them on this page, that can help you find a good lodge. If you want to reach me, you can certainly do that. The number to call is going to be 619-985-1184. That's my cell phone number. And for those of you who have it, great. And for those of you who don't, and you want to chit chat sometime, you can hit me up. I don't mind. For those who know me, I'll talk to you. And if I can't, I'll let you know I can't talk to you right now. But that number is 619-985-1184. If you want to holler at me, do that. That statement is. Go ahead. Well, he's looking for a lodge. He didn't. His father is Prince Hall, and he said that his father said that if it's not Prince Hall, let me see. I want to quote him. I don't want to miss. Let's see. He said, "My father is Prince Hall, but I'm not feeling it. I want to join a lodge. Do you know of any lodges in Richmond, Virginia?" And then he stated that. Okay, he said that.
I know a lot of lodges. I mean,
yeah.
If Brother Maxwell is not filling up any Prince Hall lodges in Virginia, he can go to the State Grand Lodge, Virginia.
Absolutely.
I mean, the State Grand Lodge, Virginia is recognized by the Prince Hall, Virginia Grand Lodge counterpart. So
yeah,
it's another option.
Yeah.
If he wants to go to the State Grand Lodge of Virginia, he has that option as well.
Yeah. He also stated, he said that, he said my father's, everything is clandestine. If it's not Prince Hall, if it's not, oh, he said everything is clandestine in his father's view if it's not Prince Hall. That was his father's view. He said his view is not like that. So I'm quite sure he's seeing what was being said and everything else. So,
well, his view and his father's view is two totally different things. But, you know, just like I said, if he wants to go to the State Grand Lodge, Virginia, he can do that.
right, exactly.
They're not clandestine.
Exactly.
They are recognized nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same as Press Hall, Grand Lodge,
Uh-huh.
you know, it's recognized nationwide. You know, so he has two options. He either go Press Hall for Virginia or State Grand Lodge, Virginia.
Right, exactly.
That's his choice.
I will agree with that. I will agree with that. That is not to say that there are some brothers who are ancient free to accept the Mason in Virginia. I will point you that way. But Brother Maxwell, is you have to make a decision. And I tell any brother, what Brother Taylor just said, what Brother Brandon has said, you know, you have to kind of figure that out. And there's a State Grand Lodge, and there are other Masonic lodges out there. But the thing is getting into one that's doing the work, building character, building you up, supporting you. I'm not saying supporting you financially. I'm saying supporting you and helping you to develop and be the best Mason you can be. Plain and simple. And yes, there are the Grand Lodge Estate for Virginia, and there's just a variety. But the ideal is getting to that one that's going to best suit you, and that's truth. You know, I mean, I would say that the Grand Lodge Estate, them boys roll. Them boys got the money. They roll like they roll. That's any Grand Lodge Estate. Let's just be honest with it. And you know, you got a choice. You got a choice. So I wish you well on that. And if you want to contact any of us, I'm certainly welcome. I'm certainly quite sure that you're welcome to do so. That's for sure.
You know, I wish that young brother well, and you know, more prosperity. And you know, like I said, you know, when we get into the business of Freemasonry or Eastern Star, you know, it is our own favor of the court. And if that's something that he wants to do, then, you know, do it for yourself.
That's the best advice you can give him right there, bro. When you said do it for yourself, that goes a long way. Hey, how much do you know about the Order of the Eastern Star?
I was a past patron and past grand patron.
Okay, what do you know about the Labyrinth?
You said the Labyrinth?
The Labyrinth, yes.
Well, I walked around that star. It was real beautiful, you know, to learn about the 5 points of the star and the 5 women of the Hermione.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite point was the red point. The lecture, how she gave her life because of her beliefs in Christian religion, and she didn't give in, even though her family got killed. Mm-hmm. For our cause, she didn't give in.
That is true.
She believed in the cause, just like Crispus, the black guy that got killed in the Revolutionary War. He believed in what he believed in, and he got killed at Bunker Hill.
Right. Well, I'm going to say this in regards to the Sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star. Life is a labyrinth through which we wander blindly, where it is not for the all-seeing eye that watches over us, an all-powerful hand that guides us on our way. This order is founded on the belief in the existence of a supreme being that rules the universe for good, and no one can become a member of the order who does not hold this belief. Plain and simple. That is one of the creeds of the Order of the Eastern Star. If you don't believe in a supreme being, in the who created the heavens and the universe, you cannot be a member of the Order of the Eastern Star. And it goes to show you the obligation that you take is a solemn pledge. It's a solemn pledge. When the conductress conducts you, it is that solemn pledge that after when she conducts you to the east that you take. And that pledge simply is that it is meant to bind you to that organization of the Order of the Eastern Star. That's what it's meant to do. And if you're a woman about your word, you would clearly understand the things that you say, you have to hold to. And the same thing even goes for us who are Masons. It's things that we say, we should be honored in holding to those values and customs and things that we say. But at times we find ourselves falling short. We even find ourselves cutting each other short. But in the process, we should all grow. We should all learn. That's my opinion, Brother Teller. You can take it.
Well, I mean, I feel the same way too. I mean, we should be men and women, no matter what affiliation, we are. When we set them obligations, we're supposed to help one another, uplift one another, not tear down a person.
Mm-hmm.
That's kid stuff. I mean, that's something that my 17-year-old would do, or my 15-year-old niece. We all grown.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know that social media, everybody joke around and have their own different opinions on what's clandestine or irregular or what's not, but you shouldn't do that.
Right.
Because that means a nasty grit in somebody's mouth, and they don't want to join the order.
Mm-hmm.
Because how we act
Mm-hmm.
while we are in the organization and stuff, this is a man's and a woman's organization.
Right.
It's not the Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Weeblo organization, the Girl Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
This is man-made as well as woman-made. The Masonic order as well as the Eastern Star.
Right. I want to say greetings to Brother Maddox, who's just popping on tonight. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing and getting involved with the show tonight. Definitely for anybody else who's just coming on, I want to welcome you for coming on. Please tell somebody about the show. Subscribe. Hit the little bell button. It'll tell you what time we're going to come on. And as always, I hope that you're able to get something from this. And this show is open to all brothers and sisters of the craft. This is not that jurisdictional thing. This is that love thing. We want to build. We want to say, hey, look, this is who we are. And nobody is going anywhere. We're all really in the same damn boat. Just probably on different ends, but it's the same boat.
Exactly. And to me, I express my opinion. I do not speak for my lodge. I do not speak for my grand lodge. The jurisdictional Prince Hall. It's just simple as that. We all have a freedom of speech, and I just speak my thoughts and my thoughts only. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right.
But it's a good thing that we all learning how different affiliations work and what they do and stuff, and it's a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is not gonna know everything.
No, you're not. But the unique thing is that we're able to have the conversation, get a better understanding, and when you're able to do that, a lot of things work out when you're able to do that. It's just sad that for some of us we can't do it because we feel a certain way.
Well, it's not that we can, but sometimes people are stuck in their old ways and scared to take that step.
Mm-hmm.
We as black folks, we must stand together. If we don't stand together, we're gonna be divided.
You said it right there. You said it right there. You said it all right there. So
and this is not a Masonic or Eastern Star thing. This is just being human race.
Right.
One time
exactly.
we as black folks, we was once kings and queens. We came from Africa, where our forefathers, built huts and temples and stuff. And we treated our sisters with respect, with dignity. We treated them like queens and princesses.
Right.
And then we was coloring that guys put that hood on our head and you know, that rope, that noose around our neck. Take it to the forbidden place to know where we're going to return. And,
Listen to you. Okay, go ahead.
You know, we tend to lose sight of whence we came. You know, and we got knocked on our head for ignorance. And we treat each other with no respect. You know, and that's where Willie Lynch came in and taught his people how to make a slave.
Right.
Without fearing us. And so now we started learning the ways of the former slave owners and masters to turn on each other.
Right.
You know, the old against the young, the fat kid against the thin, and you know, the women turn on the men turn on the women. You know, back in the day, when my grandparents was together, it wasn't like that. When my parents was together, they didn't do that.
Right.
But now, this day and age and generation, everybody is about themselves. You know, it's not about, you know, unity. It's about themselves. You know, it's not us.
Right.
When one black person mess up, we all mess up because they see us as a whole.
They do. Yeah. And with that being said, I'm gonna end tonight's show on that note. I appreciate you calling in, brother. You know you have my number, so you can call me anytime. We homies, and that's for real. Not just through the Mason respect, but you know home. You know home is where the heart is at. So I'm gonna end tonight's show. Go ahead.
I do want to say this: when you do go back to Mississippi, I will be praying for your family and your mom. So my traveling graces to your family.
I appreciate that.
Where you go, you tell your mom to keep the faith.
All right.
If you need me, I will be down there in Mississippi.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, brother, and that's really what it's all about. Thank you. I appreciate the love and the kind words. So we're going to end tonight's show on that note. So until we meet, until we greet each other again, thanks everyone for tuning in. And I ain't got much to say on that one. I hope everybody got something from tonight's show. And to the sisters of the order, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Hey, man, if you want to calm down, my boy, I'm telling you, next time y'all come on the show, y'all may not hear it. You may not hear him because man, I'm telling you, my granddaughter gonna come home and she gonna be asking him and say, you know what, he ran away. I'm just saying.
Yeah. She gonna look at you like Papa told you ain't right.
He ran away. I'm leave the gate open. Let him go. I'm telling you. Hey, everybody have a good night, man. And please, whatever you do, hey, stay out. Keep your light on. Stay out the bushes. Hey, man, if you don't stop, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna choke this dog, man. I'm gonna choke him. All right, brother. Love you, man. Take care now.
You too. And everybody, please be safe and enjoy your weekend.
All right.